doesn't get much more
It's 7 o'clock. Rich has already studied the headlines, solved a few problems, ruffled a few feathers, and consumed more Diet Coke than most people drink all day. Richmond's Morning News with Rich Herrera. This is News Radio WRVA.
7:03 this morning on News Radio WRVA. I'm Rich Herrera. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so I've ruffled a few feathers. I've had some people that have said some really nice things about Dolly Parton. You can reach us on the James River Air text line, 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. I obviously rankled some feathers of some Democratic socialists and Marxists that listen to the program. Very interesting. You can go to facebook.com/newsradiowrva to leave your thought about Dolly Parton. Why is she the one person that brings us all together? We'll do that at 9:33 as part of the experiment. And again, 833-804-1140. I put this out there, Dave, as far as Dolly goes. I think it's because she can live everywhere. She had that one great line. It takes a lot of money to look this cheap. So it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek that she made a nod towards, you know what, I grew up dirt poor. And she did. She grew up dirt poor. So she can relate to people that grew up dirt poor. She never turned her back on them. She never thought, oh, I've gotten better than all the rest of you, and never came back. She lived that life, and she embraced those people she grew up with. But she could go to Manhattan and walk around and kind of make fun of herself and not take herself too seriously in the rhinestones and everything else. So if you're walking around in Manhattan and you're going to some of those ritzy cocktail parties, the rhinestones that she wore were more expensive than anything else anybody in the room was wearing that was designer couture. And they can relate to her like, wow, she's very, very successful. I admire her. People that are dirt poor, she became very, very successful, but she's not snotty. I could admire her. And I think that was the thing that everybody loved her, because she could relate to everybody, men, women. She was offered the Presidential Medal of Freedom 3 times, and she turned it down all 3 times. Trump had offered it to her, and then Biden had offered it to her, and she goes, well, I turned it down for President Trump because I didn't want to go political. But now if I take it from Joe Biden, people will go, well, I snubbed Donald Trump. I guess I'll just not take it. She was actually offered it and turned it down 3 times because she didn't want to pick one side or play favorites, because she loved everybody.
Well, and part of it, at least to me, I'm not a big country music fan, but she just seemed to be, down to earth. It's somebody you could just sit down and talk to.
No matter who you were. Not down to earth,
exactly.
Though. Not down to earth. Because she was a shark as a business person.
Oh, yeah.
Like Elvis wanted to record I Will Always Love You. And Colonel Tom Parker was going to take the song away from her, because if Elvis recorded it, he owned the song. And she goes, as much as I love Elvis, and he would have done a great job, she goes, that's my song. I can't give it to you. So she was a shrewd businesswoman, So she could sit there and talk with any captains of industry and anybody in business. But then she could go back to the hollers and the Smoky Mountains and talk to people. She can go to Manhattan and talk to people. She could talk to everybody. And they all felt like, you know what? She's one of us, no matter where you were in this world.
Well, she just, I say she was down to earth because she wasn't afraid to be the butt of her own jokes.
Oh, the self-deprecation was awesome.
Yeah. And like the one story she said, they were having like a Dolly Parton lookalike contest at some gay bar, and so she joined in and she lost.
Yeah, she came in second in a Dolly Parton lookalike contest. That is awesome. So sweet, so nice, so kind. Nobody has anything bad to say about her except for Mitchell's wife. You're going to get in so much trouble for that, pal, but thanks. Send us a text message. What made her universally loved in a place that we don't really agree on anything? 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140. Again, facebook.com. I just put it in there that whole line of it takes a lot of money to look this cheap is really why she was beloved by everybody. And the text messages are just blowing up this morning, so keep going. I did get insulted. Do you want to hear the latest insult on the text line?
Oh, I'm always ready to hear you get insulted.
This is over my whole thing about the chicken nuggets. Okay, if it's central planning, that's what socialism, that's what Marxism is. It's not the free market, it's a collectivism. We all work towards the collective. And in central planning and collectivism, it's not the markets. Got to understand the difference between the two. Capitalism, supply and demand, market decides who's successful, who's not. Marxism, communism, it's central planners decide what's good for the collective. So you don't have two companies competing with each other, because in that form of government and economics, the government controls everything. That's when they privatize it. The government decides, here's what kind of soda you're going to get. Here's what kind of this you're going to get. Here's what kind of chicken nuggets you're going to get. So I did get this one. I'll use your name and put it on here. Scott from Chesterfield said, MAGA is the saddest mixture of being terribly gullible and the perfect example of the Dunning-Kruger effect. Your whole worldview is BS, and you couldn't smell it if it hit you in the nose. You aren't bad people. You just fell for it and too stubborn to admit your fault. If only your ignorance wasn't hurting Americans and beyond. From Scott Chesterfield.
Well, first of all, MAGA isn't a form of economics. It's not socialism. It's not, it's capitalism. It's MAGA is just a political movement. It's not a economic theory.
And again, I'm just going to make all the MAGA people bad. I'm not MAGA. I am a Reagan Republican, been so since 1980s. I'm not MAGA. I demand Donald Trump earn my support each and every day. I think that's important. I think all politicians should earn our support each and every day. So again, the people, I'm going to get a ton of people, don't you want America to be great again? Of course I want America to be great again, but I hold our leaders to very, very high standards, and I hold them ultra accountable. But I love the fact that you got to use the Dunning-Kruger effect to insult me. Because, again, if I'm so wrong on something, just point it out. It's kind of like when I see the videos of people, oh, I hate Donald Trump. What do you hate about him? He's taking away our rights. What right do you take away? I don't have time to talk to you. So the fact that you're going to drop you're going to diagnose me with a psychological term tells me right there, give me something concrete that you think I get 100% wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But if you just got to say, oh, you're not that smart, and I'm going to use big fancy terms that PhDs use because obviously you're not smart enough to figure them out. That's why you're a big dummy. And I got to tell you that your confidence the confidence isn't proof of competence. Sometimes a person must in a certain room simply knows the least about the subject and he's the loudest. Sorry, I couldn't figure that out. I ain't a PhD.
Well, I have Dunning and Kruger on my fantasy team, so I'm good to go.
They're really good. They scored a lot of points for me last year. But again, that's why I know that I'm onto something, because when the insults get personal, that I'm not smart enough to figure this out, that means you actually can't point to one thing that you disagree with. You just got to take the pot shot all the way across the top. All right, do I have time for this, Super Dave? I'm going to share this quick story with you.
Got 3 minutes.
I saw this on CBS. Steve Hartman, who I love. And sometimes when I'm just kind of feeling blue, I'll put him on YouTube, and he has all these stories about things that people do for each other, making humanity better. He kind of inspires me. He and my dad both inspire me. We did the RVA community cookout. I've got the prostate cancer screening coming up on September 8th at the Squirrels. We'll talk about that. But I saw this story about a school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. First day of school. Kids of high school. Kids are nervous. Parents are nervous. And the kids get hazed. Here, listen to the story from CBS.
We hold the car door, preventing it from opening. It's like initiation, like we all did it.
Your heart starts thumping out of your chest.
I'm not a very huggy person.
I wouldn't have wanted to kiss my mom as a freshman. And you know who the happiest people are in this whole thing? The mothers. This is a big moment for them, especially if it's their first child or their last child.
So emotional. I was crying yesterday and all morning, and she asked me not to cry during the drop-off. So I think I did okay.
The moment you drive off after dropping them to school is when it hits you.
Yes.
He gave me that kiss, and I saw him leave, and that meant I have to let go.
So in the school in Oklahoma, they hazed the freshmen, but in a different way than I got hazed. I got beat up my freshman year of high school. I probably deserved it for talking too much. But at this school, the seniors are out there, and they're waiting for the freshmen to be dropped off in car line. And they will surround the car, and they've got signs, and they're yelling, they're screaming, they're pounding on the windows, they're pounding on the hood. And they won't let the freshmen get out of the car on the first day of school until they lean over and kiss their mom or their dad or their guardian or whoever's dropping them off. Do you remember the first day of high school and how scary that was, Super Dave? It's terrifying.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Luckily I had my sister was a senior when I was a freshman.
Okay. So
I don't know if that was good or bad, but it's because she didn't help me any.
But for parents, that's really the beginning of the end of your childhood, because before you know it, you're off in high school, you're going to get a car, you're off to college. This is it. This is that big step from being my baby to you're on your way to adulthood. So it's absolutely soul crushing for parents. And that's when kids start going, hey, mom, drop me off a block away. I don't want anybody to see that I have a mom dropping me off. Well, this school, not only do they make the mom stand there, they won't let you out of the car until you kiss them. And it's really kind of a rite of passage at this school. I saw that and I cried. I thought that's the coolest thing ever. This one high school using, well, it's a hazing. It's
30 seconds.
It's a hazing incident, if you want to know the truth. Embarrassing somebody under duress to get them to do something you want. But it's a beautiful moment for the moms, for the kids. One last moment. Okay, maybe that's my last bit of childhood before I enter the jungle of being in high school to see who is going to try to sell me an elevator pass for a school that's only one story, or taking my lunch, or whatever else is going to happen to me as I'm that geek from 16 Candles standing there next to everybody else. Anyway, I thought it was a great story. I want to share that with you this morning. There's a lot of people are dropping their kids off. So I don't know. Hey, if you're in the car, your mom and dad are making you listen to the radio this morning, how about just kind of leaning over there and giving them a hug or a kiss before you get out of the car? Because I will tell you this, before you know it, you'll be off in the world, and you will regret this moment if you don't take advantage right now. I promise you that. It's 7:15 this morning on News Radio WRVA. I'm Rich Herrera. Thanks so much for joining us. Coming up on the program, our tribute to Dolly Parton. Big Bill Drake is going to join me. I had a chance to sit down with him to talk about the great Dolly Parton. We'll do that coming up next on News Radio WRVA. Let's see. What do I need to talk to you about? Oh, I know. Credit cards. Ugh.